Okay, I apologize for my appearance. There's just some stuff I gotta say. So I'm just gonna go right into it. Some of you may know that I lost my uncle, in October 2010 to suicide. And he's not the only individual I've lost. I've lost other people in my life to the same cause. And it's a very sensitive subject for me, obviously, and I'm sure it is with a lot of you too, because I know I'm not the only person that's dealt with it. Obviously, I've thought about it. I think everyone has. And honestly, I think that there comes a point when everyone thinks about taking their own life, because it seems like there's no other option. But anyways, for my grad project, we had to write a paper on a controversial topic. So I picked suicide awareness because it's controversial. Indeed, many people sweep it under the rug as if it doesn't matter. Not necessarily that the act itself doesn't matter, that people doing it doesn't matter. People sweep it under the rug as if awareness doesn't matter. Like, we don't need to worry about it because it's politically incorrect. That's why. There's no other reason. People most people don't understand suicide, and when people don't understand something, it scares them. So they feel the need to isolate it from the news and, I don't know, just to public attention. And I find it kind of ironic that suicide is displayed on TV in such a nonchalant fashion, like on shows like SVU and Criminal Intent. They'll show people's feet hanging. That's not cool. It's just not. You wouldn't show, like, a person actually getting raped on TV. Like, movies are kind of sort of a different story. But you wouldn't show someone getting raped on TV, like, explicitly. So why would you show someone hanging from a ceiling fan? You just don't. I don't understand the media in that sense. But anyways, that's my whole paper. My whole paper is explaining why we need to promote awareness, because it's an increasing fashion trend, actually. It's like, oh, what was the one statistic? Sorry. I literally have card after card after card on facts about this. It's just insane. But the point I'm getting at is, we had to do an interview for this grad project, and I had to interview a suicidologist, and yes, they exist. I went on a website, found a woman. 10 minutes probably took me. She right away responded, blah, blah, blah. She holds meetings every last Tuesday of the month for suicide survivors, which is members of a suicide family, or rather, members that have of a family that have, like, lost people to suicide. So I told my mom I wanted to go to one of the meetings, and we went last month. And after going once, I decided I wanted to make it a routine thing. I thought it was healthy for her and I to go to listen to other people and just to learn and listen and talk, because I've had therapy, but I didn't find it particularly useful. I don't know, one of the girls in the group that goes says that she found a woman that she talks to professionally and that she's a huge help. So I don't know, that kind of makes me want to go find a therapist or psychiatrist for me, because I think if I did find someone that I could really connect with, that I could benefit from it. But I don't know, haven't yet, and neither is my mom. So this group is really opening my eyes to a lot and really, really tugging at my heartstrings. There's this one woman, like, honestly, I didn't even know, like, old individuals like thought about suicide, but there's this woman, and she's probably like 75, and her husband like shot himself like a year ago. Like, can you imagine being married to someone for like 50 years and then they kill themselves? Like, holy shit, like I'm crying right now. Like, every introduction of the meetings, like, we sit there and we introduce who we are, like what happened to us, and she can't keep it together. Like, she'll be like, I'm Shannon, I lost my husband, and she'll just start bawling. It's so hard for me to watch. Like, God, I feel so sorry for her. Her poor, like, she's all alone too. She's like, I don't know how she goes home, and then there's like, God, it sucks. It's terrible. I want to like put her in my pocket and take her home with me. She's so sweet, and tonight I gave her a hug and she made me cry because, yeah, but there's this other woman, Beverly, her boyfriend of 27 years shot himself. And, like, people are so inconsiderate. This was in August, right? And you know the movie The Artist? I didn't see it, but apparently there's reference to suicide in it, right? Her friend, her best friend, told her to go see The Artist. Like, all these people were telling her to go see The Artist. And so she goes to see it. No one told her that it had that the guy's life in that movie was exactly like her boyfriend's. And she was just like, are you kidding me? Like, these people just don't understand that, like, losing someone to suicide is not something you get over. And all her friends said, well, we thought you'd be over it by now. Like, are you kidding? That's so horrible. This poor woman. She was so bitter about it, too, and I can't blame her. Like, these are people that are supposed to be your friends. And I can totally relate, because when I lost my uncle, like, my friends weren't there for me. Like, it really showed who my friends were and who weren't. Like, I didn't get a hug from my one friend. I didn't get a hug. Like, are you kidding me? It's just, I don't know. And, like, this other woman, I forget her name, but she's great. Like, I love her a lot, and, she teaches special ed, but, like, a lot of her students are normal. They just have slight problems, and a lot of them are emotionally disturbed, and she lost her husband, and she made bracelets, like these kind of bracelets, and all of her students want to wear them, right? So her students are wearing them in his honor, and it turns out that a lot of her students like to talk to her about their problems. To talk to her, yeah. Because they find her helpful because of what she's been through, that she understands, and instead of the guidance counselor. So what her school's doing is telling the kids not to wear the bracelets because it's glorifying suicide. Like, how ridiculous is that? It's not glorifying. It's like, it's preventing awareness. It's like the cancer bracelets. Then that means those kids shouldn't be allowed to wear the gay pride bracelets. They shouldn't be allowed to wear the cancer ones. They shouldn't be allowed to wear the drug ones, HIV. They shouldn't be allowed to wear anything, because, like, suicide is an illness, and that's what people don't understand. People that kill themselves don't want to kill themselves. They can't help it. It's an illness. It's irrational. It's literally split of the moment. Whatever. Yeah, you could think about suicide, you could plan it out in your head, but when it comes down to it, the moment that you do it is impulsive. And it's disgusting that people just, like, people that don't understand say it's selfish and say that it's the worst possible thing you could do. Like, that's insulting to us, to people that have dealt with it, because you don't understand. My uncle wasn't selfish. He didn't want to hurt us. If anything, he thought he was doing us a favor by ridding himself, because people that want to kill themselves feel like a burden, and I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You feel like a burden to society and to those around you, and you feel like you're doing them a favor if you're not here anymore. It's not selfish. It's not, like, it's sickness. There's a difference. And people just don't understand it. And it's, the lack of understanding scares humanity, and it's swept under the rug. And I guess the point of making this video was just because I needed to talk, because, I don't know, it's just, I miss my uncle, and I feel so bad for anyone who's lost someone to suicide, because it changes you for life. Like, I feel so bad for that old woman who lost her husband. That's just terrible to me. I can't imagine being married to someone for so long. And like tonight, after the meeting was over, it was me, her, my mom, the woman I told you about, like with the school, with the bracelets, and then the leader of the group who I interviewed. It was just us standing there, and she was talking about her medication, how her doctor just switched her, and she said, I'm really hoping that, oh shit. She said that I'm really hoping that this medicine, like, kicks it up a notch, because, and she just started crying. She was just like, I just miss him so much. I just can't imagine how terrible that must be for her every day. I don't know. If you ever think someone is gonna kill themselves, seriously, you need to tell someone. You need to get them help, because they're incapable of rationally thinking for themselves, and they need somebody to be their wisdom and say, listen, like, you have your entire life, you can get help. In all cases, it's not preventable, but in some there is. Like, the way the woman of the group, the leader, she says that, like, once the victim gets into tunnel vision, then there's no helping them. And tunnel vision, obviously you can picture being in a tunnel, and at the end is like the light. It's just darkness and then light. She's saying that the tunnel vision would be the darkness, and then the light would be suicide. And once they get into tunnel vision, you can't save them. But before that, there's hope, like, to help. That's why medicine exists, that's why psychiatrists exist, that's why institutions exist. And it can be prevented. There just needs to be awareness. People need to care. People need to help. It's only going to get worse. Youth is depressed. Our generation is messed up. Our generation's warped. I mean, all of us on Tumblr talk about it all the time. A majority of us have had our history with cutting. Still do. I don't know. I just hope that, like everything else, that one day, like, people will just care and respect it. Like, people that make jokes about it, like, yes, we all make jokes. I make jokes. Wow, I want to kill myself because Fall Out Boy's on hiatus. Whatever. There's a difference between that kind of joke and then the kind of joke of somebody putting a picture up on Facebook of a mascot of another team hanging, because that was one of the stories of the group. Penguins versus Flyers. Somebody took a penguin and hung it from a tree or something and put it on Facebook. That's not funny. It's not. Because I picture my uncle when I think of that, and I don't want to. It's insulting, it's disgusting, it makes me sad, and it makes a lot of other people sad. Especially people that have found their loved ones in that state. It's not something to joke about, like, in that sense. This was really long. I doubt any of you watched it, but anyway, it felt good to talk. If I get hate for this, I don't even know. Some of you disgust me. I don't know how people can seriously send hate like that. Talk about suicide. That pushes people to want to end their lives. People that feel like a burden as is, and then you tell them that they're worthless, that's not gonna help. you need to step back and get a new perspective on what you're doing. This is 15 minutes long. Oh, okay, I'm ending this now. If you watch this, kudos. If you didn't, I don't blame you, and you're not watching, so there's no point of acknowledging you. So, yeah, okay. If you want to kill yourself, please don't. Because I promise that you're loved, and that you aren't a problem, and that life is 100% better with you in it. So just stay and get help. Okay, done.